Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is Dnm7boy, but everybody just really calls me Derek. I'm here with a little guide. There's a little tips to help you get through what us League of Legends players call Elo hell. So mainly, I'm gonna give out 7 tips. Okay, first tip that I'm gonna give out: champion select. Games are won and lost at champion select. I mean, it may sound hard to believe, like the match hasn't started, but when you think about the champions that are being picked, make sure that you pick according to what your team needs. Don't be the guy who says, "Oh, I'm top no matter what." Like, you have to pick according to what your team needs. If your team needs support, you should pick support. Don't be selfish and pick Talon for support because your team will eventually suffer for it. Make sure you pick a character that will benefit the whole team. Learn every role, please. Don't be the guy who only knows how to play jungle and top. Learn every role because if you plan on playing ranked, that's something that you should be able to do. You should play every role, and that's leading to my second point. My second point is team chemistry. If your team is bickering and fighting before the match even fucking starts, it's very unlikely that you will win. I mean, if you completely outplay the other team, then yeah, but good team chemistry leads to better ganks, better laning, better communication. Make sure your team has good chemistry. Make sure you guys are getting along, please. And if there's an immature troll on your team, mute him, ignore him. Don't feed into his trolling, because that's going to make him troll even more. Trust me. That's leading to my other point: early laning phase. Now, a lot of people feed during early laning phase. I mean, a lot of people feed during the whole match. But the thing with early laning phase is that you have to know your matchup. That goes back to champion select. If you see somebody pick Warwick top lane, don't pick Talon. Talon gets raped by Warwick. There's no way that Talon's gonna beat Warwick unless the Warwick has downs. I see no way that a Talon's gonna beat a Warwick top lane. Warwick has one of the most sustain for a top lane, and he's just an overall better champion than Talon. Also, don't pick. Um, I'm trying to think of some other examples. Shin. Well, I'm just use Talon again because Talon is one of my least favorite top lanes. Don't pick Talon against Shin. Shin will rape Talon. Shin will rape pretty much every other top lane there is, but especially Talon. Talon has no sustain at all. Talon is only good for lanes with like mages. So if you're gonna pick a mage and there's a Talon in the game, be sure to call for help and even switch lanes with your top lane because any top lane can beat Talon. Talon's not a good character. Sorry to bash on Talon players. I mean, Talon's a good character, but I'm sorry. Just bad experience. Point number 4, map awareness. And I'm just gonna go straight to point number 5 from this. Wards. Map awareness may be the single most important aspect of this game. Without map awareness, you will lose. You have to make sure that you have sight on mainly the most two the two most important spots that you want sight on are Baron and Dragon. Dragon is a free 100, I think 180 gold now. It used to be like 300, and Baron's a free 300 gold. Dragon respawns every 6 minutes, and Baron respawns I think every 8 minutes or so, 8 or 10. If you give up 5 dragons a game, the other team is getting around a 700 gold advantage. There's a lot of gold for a dragon. So that's why you have to prioritize dragon over towers. And this is why you can go back and get a tower whenever you want. And the other team can't get their tower. You know what I mean? They don't benefit gold from getting their tower, but they benefit gold from getting dragon. You know it's hard, but it's hard to explain, but it makes sense if you think about it. Wards are not expensive. Don't complain about buying wards. I know carries are supposed to spend money on their items like Phantom Dancer and Infinity Edge, but if you just take 75 gold to buy a ward, it will benefit your team a lot. And ward places, don't ward places like early game, don't ward your own jungle. The only time you ever need to ward your own jungle early game is to stop counter jungling. Make sure you ward like dragon. Make sure you ward like your tri-bush. Like if you're bottom lane, ward your tri-bush. Ward their blue. Like if you're on a blue team, another team's purple team, make sure you ward their entryway to their blue. Because that way you can see incoming ganks and you could possibly steal blue or get a free kill. Warding is all about placement and it's all about timing. If you don't see anybody on the map, you won't know where to go. You won't know if you can overextend in your lane. You won't know if they're about to gank. You don't know if it's 4 people. You don't know if it's 5 people. You don't know if it's 1 person. It could be bait or he could be dumb. You don't know. That's why wards are important. Make sure you ward your lane. Point 6. Build according to team needs. And I say this, it sounds kind of obvious. Like, who wouldn't build according? There are people that stick to the same builds no matter what. They're like hybrid champs, like you have a Kale or a Teemo. If they build AP, they're gonna build AP. Like you can have nothing but AP champs, and a Teemo goes top, and you tell Teemo like, we need you to go AD because we're gonna get raped. We're gonna get raped by Galio if you don't go AD. And you see, Teemo is up there being Rabadon's, Rageblade, Nashor's Tooth, and your team loses. Make sure, and it's not even hard to play a character in a different build. Just make sure that you build according to what your team needs. It's frustrating to see somebody lose just because one person. The game is a very team-oriented game. One person can throw a whole game. Make sure that you build according to what your team needs. And if you're a tank, even if you're like Rammus, who's mainly a armor tank, make sure if their team's heavy damage is coming from magic, build magic resist and go straight for them. Your Rammus, that's your job. A lot of Rammuses like to stick to trying getting kills by building armor to get attack damage, but that's not what you're for. You're a tank. You're supposed to go after people. Don't get greedy. Now, I should have made that one of my points. Don't get greedy and try and get kills, like nothing but kills as a tank. When you're a tank, you get most of your gold from assists. That is your job. You picked a tank for a reason. And my last point was never give up. And I have to stress that the most because that's something that I really strongly believe in, and not even on this game, but just in general. Like never give up, because I've come back in this game from having no towers at all. The inhibitor's gone, the towers around our nexus are gone. We do some ballsy move where I jump in as Pantheon, and this is back a long time ago when Pantheon had a global wall. I jump into their base, we all teleport into their base, 5v5 them in their base and win the game. No towers at all. We were losing. So I stress that. Never give up, guys. That is my tips for League of Legends, and I hope you enjoy it. If you like this video, leave a like, leave a little thumbs up, subscribe to the Yummiest Network Ever. Leave some comments and favorite if you really like it. Thank you. My name is Dnm7boy, but you can call me Derek, and thank you for your time.